Hey, Gutfoxx here. So, today we got relief pitchers and closers combined into one category because I don't know why they're separated in game. And we're going to tier rank them. So, obviously, there's going to be some disagreements between me and you, but if you want to show me what you got, tweet it at me. I'll put the link to this, whatever, tier maker in the description below, and you go ahead and use it and rank your own there. But, let's go through it. So, we got 3 rows of relievers here. There might be some hot takes in here. I don't know. But I think S tier has got 2 guys in it. And you'd be like, oh, 2 guys. Exclusive. Why is that? Well, you guys know the pain of Edward Cabrera. Why is Edward Cabrera so good? He doesn't have insane control. Doesn't have an insane overall. Per nines are whatever. It's the sinker, right? The outlier sinker is why he's top of the meta. It's just very hard to hit, especially in high levels. I'd say this guy and maybe All-Star isn't nearly as powerful, but again, no really pitchers are that powerful in All-Star outside of some nice guys with some solid break on them. But that is meta, right? And so SDS saw that, frustratingly so, and they're like, well, you know what? If we got Cabrera at starter, let's just make a right-handed and a left-handed Cabrera at reliever. So they went ahead and did it with TA3, gave everybody it free. Now, maybe people will be able to pick up their motions a little bit better, but Alex Reyes, 125 hits per 9, maxed out without any, bonuses there to his parallel progress. He has that outlier on his sinker, so it's, 100 miles per hour. Then he's got a slider, 12.6, and a change. He might almost be in a category of his own. Alex Reyes, where can I find him? I just want to put them up there first. Talk about them right away because it sucks because Cabrera and the outlier sinker, which is something he doesn't even have on his live series card, his sinker, is basically changed the entire game. Now they have to basically match that for other relievers, and it's a little frustrating, I think, in other pitchers that okay, there's this one card that's dominating, now we have to match that and go over, and that's what I kind of talked about yesterday about cards being a little bit too powerful early on. They've kind of had to do that, right? They've really leaned into the sinker meta, and Soto's the same way, but from the southpaw side. So we can take a look at Soto's card, and you can see his southpaw outlier 1 on his sinker. He's got a slider and a changeup also to go along with it. So there it is, Soto. You can get him up to 125 on parallel too. Not too hard to get to. Obviously, they're a little bit wild, so you might be hanging some pitches on them. But those, in my opinion, are the S tier, right? I just feel like now I can see the argument for other cards in the S tier too, but I think those are just so powerful with the outlier sinker that it's going to be very hard for people to catch him. Especially you go him, then you go even over to somebody like a little soft tosser or a Wainwright in your pen too. You can go back and forth. You can go to Hoffman then next, and really throw people off and throwing 100 mile per hour sinkers to them. But anyways, as long as you don't abuse the sinker in the same location over and over, it's very, very difficult to get any sort of offense going against them. So those are my S tier. All right, let's go through the rest of it, break it down. Shane Green's right up here first. Shane Green has actually kind of got some good stuff to him. A lot of people, maybe he's underrated. With relievers, you can actually use lower overall relievers. Oh, I forgot to add Betanzas to this thing. I'll add him after this so you guys can do it. I'll maybe circle back around to him once I figure it out. Shane Green, the sinker cutter slider combo, right? We know how powerful sinker cutters and then sliders on top of it are. He doesn't have a changeup, but let's see. I guess it's 3.66, mostly in BR ERA, so not the greatest in my opinion, but a sinker cutter is enough to get you into, let's say, B, C tier area. For now, I'm gonna put him into C tier until we see how the rest of the list goes. I do not like Conley's cards; they don't pitch well for me. Williams is he was the best right-handed reliever early on in the game with his changeup and screwball. I think since he's been demoted a little bit, it definitely's lost a little bit of shine. So he's in here too. I'm gonna throw him in D tier, but I really want to put Williams in C tier. I'm gonna maybe leave him there for now, but I think with where I'm gonna go with the rest of them, I think I'm gonna throw him in D tier. Raleigh Fingers. Now, he's only an 89 overall, but like I say, it's his motion, right? The motion of the ocean on Raleigh Fingers is something else. That forkball, super underrated. So Raleigh, I almost want to put up into A tier for that. He's got good control, pitch breaks are solid, but when he gets a high 90s card, he'll be something else, and he'll definitely be top tier meta card because of that sinker forkball, and you got the slider off it. But a very hard motion to pick up. I think I'm going to throw in B tier for now, but you know, if you use them in your pen, I don't think you're going to be that angry with it. All right, Hoffman. Hoffman himself, it all comes down if they can hit a 72 mile per hour circle change, right? Like a lot of like, and it's one of the reasons why Valenzuela is so effective because of that circle change, because of how slow it is. It's just like, it's weird when it comes out of their hand. I'm missing Hoffman. I forgot Hoffman's overall. There he is, 90 overall. It's so weird, right? It's so weird to be able to hit that. I don't know why. It just looks fast, but it comes in super slow, and it really has got a lot of movement on it. 99 pitch break on that circle change, along with its control. Like, it's all based off if they know to basically try and hit that pitch first. But Hoffman, again, his high overall card would be much higher. But right now, I'm gonna put him in C tier because I don't feel like he's as good this year as he's been previous years. Rob Nen. Let's go ahead and take a look at him before I rate him. Of course, I haven't used this Rob Nen card outside of the event here, but four-seam slider, splitter, curve, good per nines, a very nice card, and it was nice a few years ago, but like now with sinkers being so meta, just having a straight four-seamer with no outlier, splitter, like I don't feel like he has a lot of deception to him. You can use him, but overall, I'm gonna throw Nen in like C tier, in my opinion. Chapman, I'm gonna put in A tier. Even though he's a gold, the fact that like he's got like kind of like a, you know, he's got the outlier, he throws from the side, it's hard to you know, kind of pick up, hit, it plays off well in his slider. I still think that Chapman is one of the best lefties in the game. Definitely use him. This Gutfoxx card, I absolutely hate. I absolutely hate this Gutfoxx card without a doubt. When I was using him earlier in the year, like, and this is against like lower end batters too, right? I felt like guys were just seeing his pitch really well. His slurve hung, his fastball wasn't incredibly fast, right? It wasn't the outlier, but overall, okay. Now I went from one Gutfoxx to the next. This Gutfoxx does have an outlier, and it does have a better control and break, but he's not somebody I've used. So this is kind of like, based off how this card played, this is how I think this card's gonna play. And so this one I'm putting here out of ignorance. So if you're like, oh yeah, he's been insane for me, I'll take your word for it. But I have not used Gutfoxx yet, so I'm sorry about that. Diekman himself, I think Diekman's a solid B tier. He's a lot like, you know, a sidewinding lefty, that same thing. He plays really well. He's very dominant, even in BR, or especially in BR. He's a dominant reliever with his pitch mix. I love that sinker, fastball, slider on him, and it's coming from a weird angle, so people have a tough time hitting it. I do not like this card. Eckersley, you can look at it and be like, oh yeah, Eckersley's great. I feel like I'm like insanely nervous whenever I go against a lefty with Eckersley. Now, last year I felt that more than this year, and my experience with this year isn't as big as it was last year and the year before. But I feel like I don't know what to throw him, right? If they can lay off a slider in by their knees, if they lay off that inside slider, I'm fucked, right? I'm absolutely screwed, right? So like against righties, he is pain to people, right? But I don't feel like he's that top tier of difficulty like a lot of other relievers are. So I don't know. I'm putting him at C tier. All right, Doolittle. I don't love him. Some people have a lot more success than I do with him. I don't like him at all. Romo's got a really funky delivery. He's between here, but if I'm gonna put Eckersley at C, I'm gonna put Romo at C also. And I don't like this Jansen card. I think Wagner's solid, but not spectacular. Again, no crazy meta pitches. Plesac's very much like, you know, the Josh Hader type, but he's only got like 2 pitches. I don't love it. Wade Davis. I don't think I've used Wade Davis this year. Now that I look at it in the look at the thing, Wade Davis. Where did I even have you? I can't even. Yeah, here he is. Fastball, cutter, knuckle. Yeah, I have not used Wade Davis this year. There's nothing about this card that made me want to use him. Although he's got a cutter sinker. What? I just spoke on my ass. Actually, that kind of makes me want to use him. Sinker, cutter. No change. I should use him before rating him. So maybe I'll put him like here. One of these two just based off his overall ratings, but he's got 116 hits per 9. He's an 87 overall because he's got bad walks per 9. Damn. So yeah, I'm ignorant on Wade. Sorry. Adam Wainwright is absolutely phenomenal. Adam Wainwright is the most underrated reliever in the game. His sinker is crazy. Like the way his arm action, like you look at his card, you're like, okay, yeah, that looks pretty solid. If you need a reliever, a right-handed reliever, kind of cheap, what is he at? 14K or 10K? Like, this is your guy. Absolutely. Cutter, sinker, change, curve. Like, you gotta ask for like a slider instead of a four-seamer. But, oh my God, the curve, it moves so much. It goes more than the entire zone. Dudes swing through that so often with 98 pitch break. So even though a sinker only has 70 pitch break, I wouldn't, his arm action with a regular sinker, like it's something to behold. Definitely take a look at adding Wainwright to your bullpen. I really recommend Wainwright. Steve Cishek, he's okay. I feel like he's good against players that can't hit sidewinders. Otherwise, he's, eminently, light upable against. I've seen some guys that just zero in on him, and I take him out without recording it out. You know why? I don't remember that card. Trying to think of which card is that? Who is that? Maybe I should just delete it so I don't. Maybe I should just edit this all out. No, I'm not going to. But he's a Topps Now sideways card, and I obviously have not used him this year. Oh, it's Chad Green. Chad Green's cards generally play okay. I have not used it at all this year, and that's why. But no sinker, no cutter. Yeah, even though you're 92, I just haven't used you. I'm going to throw you in D tier. Sorry. Josh Hader is A tier, absolutely. Right? A tier is the highest you can get if you don't have an outlier sinker, in my book. Obviously, like some of these cards we could argue are 100% S tier, but I think Josh Hader is as close to S tier as possible for this list. I think he's above these two, right? Like I'd put Hader over here if we were ranking them left to right, but I just think there's a different one. This Hader himself, I'll throw in C tier. Just because this guy's free, there's no, like, I don't want to recommend anybody get this Hader. Don't get this Hader in live series. Get this Hader right here. It's free. Don't buy this guy. I'm going to put him in D tier. His effectiveness is up here, potentially up into here, but don't buy him. John Franco, supremely underrated. Really like this John Franco card, especially in a game that doesn't have a ton of great lefties, even though you're seeing a few right here. I think Franco, he actually served me pretty well earlier this year. Tepera, I don't love. Darren O'Day, they say they patched his tipping of pitches. Past patch. O'Day's like a submariner. O'Day's okay. He's between these two for me. I'm going to put him right there. Presley, I haven't used Presley. And with that said, it is what it is, right? I don't think he's got a great pitch mix, if I recall correctly. I might be wrong, but I don't think Presley had anything insane on him. And now I can't find him. I think I'm blind. I should have been able to find him by now. Regardless, Presley, we're gonna throw you down here. All right, Familia, he's got a great sinker. I'm going to put him here. He is very close to here, though. I think he's between these two. I'm going to go here, though, for Familia. Percival, I think, stinks, but, all these guys can get out, right? Like, my opponent, there was one time he threw Troy Percival on the mound. I lined out 3 times. His Percival got 3 outs. Of course, they're all hard-hit balls, but he got 3 outs. It's not that they can't get outs. It's just less likely to than the other guys. Gagne, I'm almost wanting to put Gagne here. I actually think this Gagne is really hittable. Like, I know people, like, sometimes struggle with the big loopy curve, but I don't think, like, he's too deceptive, right? The fastball plays okay, but I feel like Gagne is easy to read. Britton is absolutely up here. Britton, like, for a free card, just doing the dailies, crazy good lefty. Amazing. He might be ahead of Chapman for a lefty spot in your pen. Trevor May, I don't like the way his card pitches. Liam Hendricks, I'm going to throw here in B tier. He might... Let me look at Liam again. He might be a little lower. Fastball, slider, curve. Oh, yeah, I guess you guys want to look too. Fastball, slider, curve. I think, like, if I were to go Liam Hendricks, I think I'd throw him right here, actually. I don't like this Liam Hendricks. 96 overall, high overall reliever, but I don't like his pitch mix. And that's all I got to say about him. Tom Hankey, I don't think he's that effective. Blake Snell, I don't love either. Robertson might be a little underrated there. I'm going to leave him there. This Chapman, though, for effectiveness is a C tier. This guy's a BR stud. I added this guy because of how good he's in BR. Like, dude, in BR, in BR where you don't really have a choice of a lot of these cards up here, this guy's S tier. If you run into a Chapman around in BR, you take him almost 100 out of 100 times. Chapman is a BR demon. But against in ranked seasons, I'm gonna throw him down in the C tier. Mauro Rivera is 100% A tier. I'd move him over here. The only reason he's not S tier is the fact that he doesn't have an outlier sinker. He does have a sinker. Like, the funny thing about Rivera, they changed his like motion this year. They changed his motion this year, okay? And it makes his sinker have a ton more movement than his cutter. It's so weird. It is so weird that he is that way. But sinker cutter, there you go. He's mainly a sinker slider pitcher. You throw the cutter to get outs, right? He doesn't pitch like he does IRL. If you pitch him like he does IRL, throw the cutter every pitch, you're gonna get lit up. Rob Dibble, A tier. Like, right? I think like if I were pulling a pen, these guys would absolutely be in it, though. Love Rob Dibble card. On higher difficulties, he's very hard to hit. Love Dibble at those higher difficulties with the outlier. Craig Kimball, I think, is a D tier. Lee Smith, I'm gonna go B tier with him. Obviously, I think he's the top. Not obviously, I think he's the top of B tier. Like if I had to go B tier, you know, and rank him, I think I go Gossage over here, Familia up here, like this probably for my B tiers, if I had to rank them in order. And then Kenley Jansen, I have not used him this year. This is based off previous year's experience. I'm gonna throw him in A tier. Again, ignorance. You see, he's not my binder, but he's got a sinker, he's got a cutter, the 2 meta pitches, and then he's got some good stuff off of that with like a slider and stuff. So overall, here would be my top. If I had to go one bullpen, these two obviously free. 3, 4, 5, 6. These two are interchangeable. 7, and then Wainwright 8. Right? I'd have 3 lefties, 5 righties, depending on my starting pitcher. Right? If I had like 5 starting righties, I'd go 4 and 4. If I had 3 righties, 2 lefties, I'd probably still keep it 5 and 3. I think most of the best hitters in this game are right-handed. If you just look at like TA and a lot of the other cards, there's obviously some switches. There's a few great lefties, but people are putting like Vlad over like Ortiz now at first. We got Chipper at third base, so he dominates lefties. So that's kind of my list, right? That would be my ideal bullpen. Those two, obviously. So that's righty, lefty, 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 one of those two. So that's 3 lefties, and then I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 righties. Lee Smith would probably slink in there. Maybe I'll move maybe Lee Smith up to A tier. He'd sink in my bullpen somewhere. I think he'd be the one. Gossage would be a close second, but I'm gonna throw those guys here. But man, I actually can feel like I want to move Lee and Gossage up. That's my list right now. Let me know what you guys got. Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, let me know in the comments where I messed up, what you think you do different, who's been amazing for you that I underrated. But that is it. Please like, please subscribe. Really helps the channel. Thank you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.